Hey everybody, welcome to another Fun in 5. Bringing you today Marvel United by CMON Games, or Cool Mini or Not, I think that's what that's for. This is a game all about being a superhero trying to take down a master villain. And there are 5 things I'll share with you that I like about this game. The first one is you get to be a superhero. I mean, what's not cool about that? You get your choices between Ant-Man, Captain America, the Wasp, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, and Hulk, and Iron Man. So, nice plethora of characters you get to be, and they all come with these cool minis, including the bosses. So I think that's a cool thing, is you get to be the hero, you get these superpowers, and you can partner up with other people or play solo. And if you were like me and enjoyed comics as a child, it's nice to be able to play with them when you're an adult and have a reason to, instead of just some action figures. Alright, number 2 is the various characters. So you get to play the heroes, I already named them off, but the fact that you only play with 1 or 2 or 3 of them in a game makes it so that you have replayability. And not only the heroes, but you also have 3 different supervillains that you get to fight against. In the core game anyway, you can get expansions or Kickstarter exclusives that have many more villains. But the game I have just has Red Skull, the Taskmaster, who I find particularly difficult, and then Ultron, which is the one I have on the table here. And so every game can be a little bit different because you might use different characters to try to defeat different bosses, or you may try a different strategy to defeat the same boss. So I think that can be a fun part about the game. The third thing I like is the way card play sequencing works. So what happens is players will each have a hand of 3 cards, and at the beginning of their turn they will draw a 4th card, and then they're going to get to play a card and get that card's ability. And then the next player will get to go, and they may do the same thing, but they get to piggyback off the last card played by somebody else on their team. So if you're playing a 2-player game, you kind of partner off each other, but if you're playing a 3-player game, it goes in thirds and type of thing. But then every once in a while, the boss gets to play a card, and they kind of play inside that story. And then players play and continue. They still piggyback off each other, even if there's a boss card in between. So I like the way that card play sequencing works, that I may choose to move, and then my partner could use that move, but also get to fight or to use a save a civilian act or whatnot. And so you may be doing verbal dialogue or nonverbal clues as to what you're going to be doing to try to help out your partners. And that makes the co-op aspect of the game pretty interesting. Had some fun figuring that part out. Fourth thing I like about this game is that you get to choose a little bit about how you want to win. So you get to choose how you win because there's 6 different locations, and one of your winning strategies might be to clear 4 of those 6 threats that are on the bottom of the board that are represented by the enemy that you're playing. And so when there's 6 to choose from, you get the choice of how do you want to tackle those enemies. You also get a choice of whether you want to rescue civilians, these little guys, or defeat thugs. And if you do enough of either, you'll defeat that particular dashboard card or that locked card. And you need to beat 2 out of these 3 before you can ever have a chance at taking down the boss. So every game you play, you have a choice to do with your partner or with however many players you're playing with or playing solo as to how you're going to approach that win condition. Are you going to save the civilians and defeat the thugs and just not worry about the threats? Or are you going to go for all 3 and try to get that extra chance to draw a card? Just gives you some options to play with there. And then finally, the 5th thing I like about the game is that you get to do these bigger boss fights. So this boss is running around annoying you the entire game, and that boss, in this case, is Ultron, and they're going to jump around from location to location and sabotage you in different ways. They might throw some more thugs onto the board. They might give you some, I can't remember what those are called, hazard or crisis tokens, and they might do different things to you, including beating down your health, which is represented by the number of cards that you have in your hand. You might even get knocked unconscious. So these bosses will constantly batter you throughout the game until you get a chance to take out 2 of the threats, and then you can finally take on the boss themselves if you can get to their location and slug a few fists at them. Unless it's the Taskmaster, I think there's a different way to beat that guy. But either way, the 3 different bosses in the core game and the other bosses that you can get in other sets make this game really interesting, that you always have a different approach to take on the game, not only on how you solve the initial threats, but how you continue on to defeat the boss before he defeats you. So there you have it. That's 5 things I like about Marvel United, the core game, or the retail version. I never backed in the Kickstarter thing, but I think the people that did enjoy the extra additives that has. there's something you like about Marvel United, by all means leave a comment. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Take care.